for a film that sounds in concept very similar to what you just spoke about. So this is a film called Freaks. And a couple of weeks ago, I reviewed a film called Oxygen. And that was because I've seen a What Culture list on 10 awesome sci-fi movies that you've never watched. And Oxygen was on that, and I watched that, and Freaks was also on that, and I watched that, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah, let's see if it keeps going. So this also has a young girl in it. This also has a young girl who has parents who have like, and when the film starts, who have parents who go on the run, who who have some sort of like powers or anything like that. This has all those things in it, and when the film starts, you see this girl with her dad, and they live in this dilapidated old house. Like, there's holes in the ceiling and all that sort of stuff. And he just sort of like she's like saying, oh, can we go outside? Can we go outside? He's like, no, we can't go outside. The bad people are outside. You can't go outside. The girl's about 7 years old and she can't go. And the father is played by Emile Hirsch. And he's like, you can't go outside. And don't. He keeps saying things like, look, I can only protect you when I'm awake. When I'm not awake, and whatever happens, like all the windows they're not boarded up, but they have like newspaper sellotaped over them. And there's things on the news, like when switch on the news is like, remember to report these people. If you see these people, report them. And then there's like this logo, and they say, look in their eyes, look in their eyes. If you look in their eyes, you'll be able to know. Report these people. And he's like, the bad people are outside. And so this film, for a while, it gives you a real case of what is going on. Why is he so afraid about her going outside? Is he actually a bad person who's just keeping her inside for his own purposes? And then there's this whole thing about ice cream. An ice cream van shows up at the front door, and she really, really wants to go and get ice cream. She really, really wants to go and he's like, no, we can't get ice cream. We can't get ice cream. And he keeps telling her stories about how, okay, remember, if anybody asks you, this is not your name. Your name is this. This is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. That person across the road, that's going to be your mom. That person across the road, that's going to be your sister. And she's like, and so once she sees her sister going and get an ice cream, and she's like, she just starts saying, bring me an ice cream, bring me an ice cream, please bring me an ice cream, please bring me an ice cream. And then the person who she's been told is a sister just turns around, looks at her, and then just sort of like walks towards her to give her the ice cream at the front door. And her dad is like, what did you do? Yeah, I told you never to open the door, and all that kind of stuff. And so then she's asleep at night, and she wakes up, and she goes to her closet, opens up the closet, and there's something else. Like, her closet changes. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I feel like if you watch the film does a very good job of giving this thing out to you, like what's going on. I think it's not a spoiler to say that there's people in this film with powers, but I feel like this film is, if you didn't have a whole bunch of money, if you didn't have a Marvel-sized budget to make a film about people with powers, this is a brilliant way to do it. It's kind of ground level. It talks about this one person thing and the one father and daughter and how they're trying to live in a world that doesn't particularly want them. I thought it was really, really, really well done. The only gripe I had with it, and it is a bit of a major gripe, is, have you seen The Incredibles?
Yes.
You know how in The Incredibles you have Jack, the kid, Jack. And how there's a whole joke about the fact that Jack's powers aren't really defined because they don't really know, because he's like a kid and he has all that. And in The Incredibles, they make a joke of it. But in this film, the special gift that this girl has that everybody is going for, it seems to keep changing. And it seems to be that, oh, we need this to happen in the story at this point in time. It would be really, really helpful to have this. Guess what? She has that power. Okay, now we need this. Guess what? She can do something with that as well. And I was just kind of like, and so I was watching it going, I'm really enjoying this, but what exactly is her power? What exactly can she do? Because it seems it's just anything that can sort out the problem you had in the script. But for a large time, it's really good. It has a good cast. But you can see that it's like an indie movie that just happened to get some. It has Bruce Dern. Bruce Dern shows up in it. He has Emile Hirsch, as I said before. There's an actress called Grace Park who shows up as well, who I think is really, really good. She was in Battlestar Galactica, but he also has a whole bunch of people that you've probably never heard of before. And it's the kind of film that if they told you it was filmed in Australia or in Canada or something, you'd be like, yeah, I totally see that, because I can see that they didn't have a budget, but the way in which they use the budget that they have, I thought was pretty genius, and I really, really liked it. So I would give it a 4.